Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Matt.
I'm Mandy.
And this is another episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us again as we dip back into the movies that shaped our childhood. And today, Mandy, what are we talking about?
Today we are talking about the 1998 Norm Macdonald classic, Dirty Work.
Norm Macdonald. What year was it again? Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I think we got to have you pull your microphone down just a tad. It's coming out really distorted. So
I was trying to be quiet because I know I peaked last time.
Yeah, just bring it down.
Okay.
Bring it
better?
Down. Just bring it down. Way down. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. What are we talking about? Sorry.
That's okay. We're talking about the 1998 Norm Macdonald classic, Dirty Work.
That's it. All right. That sounds way better. Okay. Thanks. We're still getting the hang of this, guys. This whole Zoom garbage meeting nonsense.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
COVID's got us down, but we're making it work. The audio quality, not as good as I'd hoped, but here we are, making it happen. Bringing the content.
You get to see our faces. Lucky you.
every Wednesday. Okay, so we're talking about Dirty Work, and of course, if you've never found a reason to watch Dirty Work, we always tell everyone listening in or watching, take this moment now to go find the film. I think I had to rent this. I had to rent this one also. Couldn't find it streaming anywhere. It was streaming not too long ago, but it's gone now. So you've lost.
Yeah, I was super bummed. Yeah. I rented it, and then it was like, "Would you, resume?" Because I had watched it, and I was like, "Shit."
Yeah, so go find it, come back, and then join us for the conversation, so you know what we're talking about. So, all right, and you're back. Okay. Of course, we don't like to talk about these movies alone, Mandy. Right?
No,
we don't.
No, not at all.
What each other think. So we got to bring in a third wheel, someone fun, someone to take sides with us, because we generally disagree about most things. So
yeah, I don't really see a whole lot of room to disagree on this movie, but whatever.
So today we're very excited to have returning guest, my good friend, Mandy's good friend, from way back in high school and before. Generally, we bring on comedians on this show, but it's always good to have a little spice in life, bring on some flavor. Today
he's still funny. It's all right.
That's right. Yeah, he's one of the funniest guys I know. I keep trying to tell him he should do stand-up, but here he is, just sitting in that weird room with a disco ball. If anybody should,
hey, you got me on the podcast, man. That's a battle right there.
Just based on the appearance of the room you're in alone, you look like that room looks like the inside of a comedian's head. Is what?
Yeah, I've got a little sign over here where I'm crossing people's names off, like in Billy Madison too.
Well, I was thinking it looks more like a terrorist video. Like I feel like you're gonna pan. I feel like you're gonna pan back, and there's gonna be like a gun against someone's head.
Thanks, Mandy. Go right to the terrorist bit. That's awesome.
For sure. Yeah, he thought he covered it up with a disco ball, but apparently that wasn't enough.
It's a happy terrorist area, right? I mean, come on.
All right, we have returning guests. We have Kalamazoo area DJ of all sorts, many sorts. Also / bartender / great guy. Greatest guy.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Just celebrated a birthday.
Happy birthday!
On
Thank
420.
you so much. Thank you, guys. Yeah, coming back for the three-peat.
That's it. Yeah, back again. All right. Yep. And what did we have you on before? We had you on Can't Hardly Wait.
And Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one, man.
Good times.
I feel like this one's like one that's kind of thrown off the bus. People don't know this one really. I'm like, Dirty Work. What?
Dude, I watched this movie. So the reason that I thought of you for this is I watched this movie at your house.
Yeah.
Like
he watched you watching this movie.
Yes,
sure. And I'm the terrorist.
Hey man, I let you know I was there. So
yeah, right.
The terrorists that you just gotta watch, right?
Yeah, I think I had a movie poster for this one up on the bedroom wall from 4-Star Video, maybe, or maybe that was closed by then. But Blockbuster action, I don't know.
I've said that on the podcast before. That my dream, my goal in life was to work at 4-Star Video.
Yeah.
And the moment I got to like the age of where I could go apply for jobs,
they shut it down.
It shut down. I was
it's good to have aspirations and dreams, man. You're really shooting for the sky on that one.
There was also a period of time in my life where I was in between jobs, so I was applying, which I mean a lot of people are right now. I got a feeling too. I was applying for jobs everywhere that I could apply. And I went to Movie Gallery, and I was like, "Fuck, I can work at Movie Gallery." There's like you don't need to know anything. There's no qualifications.
I know movies
at a movie gallery, and I was like, I fucking love movies, right? So I applied there, and then never got a call back. I didn't even get like a courtesy no thanks. We're
Same
not interested.
here, man. And I applied at Blockbuster and never got a courtesy call back.
Those guys, man.
You know,
they'd still be in business right now if we had been hired on.
Everyone's coming in like, what Coppola film should I get? Should I get something with a red or a white tonight? We're like, yeah, get a Norm Macdonald movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe that was a good idea that they didn't hire us.
Yeah, right.
We'd just be like, watch Tommy Boy again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you can't go wrong, man.
So we always ask everybody before we get started, Kyle, how long had it been since you watched this movie before we made you watch it for the podcast?
It's been a good 10 years, man. And I feel like all 3 times I've been on here, I've said, it's been about 10 years. So either I quit watching movies 10 years ago, or that's just my standby, like, I don't know, 10 years.
Right.
You got a life. You became an adult.
Yeah, right.
Mandy, how about you?
Well, I watched like at least half of it when it was on Amazon Prime. So maybe like within the last year, but but before that, it was probably like at least 10 years.
Okay.
Before where I'd watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
What about you?
I basically only like the point of reference that I have is whether or not my kid was born yet, and I can't imagine that I watched this movie since my kid has been born, who's 9. So I'm going to say it's probably within that same 10-year, maybe 15-year window there.
Yeah.
Did she watch it with you for the rewatch?
She did, yeah. For some of it, she got bored and said she was heading upstairs. So
yeah,
I get it. You know.
Well, I mean, it's PG-13. The original version was way raunchier, and it was going to be rated R. But the film studio, man. I know,
what a miss.
Yeah. The film studio actually they had to like recall everyone in to re-record a bunch of stuff to make it PG-13, which apparently Chevy Chase knew that was going to happen because he's worked with them before.
Okay. And he's not into R-rated movies then?
No, he wanted it to be R-rated.
Bummer.
He loved the whole thing. He told Artie Lange, they're going to try to make it PG-13, fight it, and then they reshot a bunch of stuff. A lot of it's voiceover, a lot of it, not voiceover, but it's like dubbed in or whatever.
Yeah, ADR, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a huge bummer. I feel like the whole world missed out on the rated R version of this movie.
Yeah, if they don't come out with a re-release of the rated R version, man, huge miss.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
so everyone's dying for more dirty work.
Yeah, this isn't dirty work. This is like, PG-13 work, and it's just it had so much potential, They say
I do feel like it was pretty raunchy even for PG-13 though. Like they really squeaked a few scenes in there.
A lot of dead hooker talk.
Yeah, and like a lot of gay sex even with animals. Like there was like sexual assault happening like all across the species in this movie.
I mean, I think Spunky was into it though.
For sure.
I don't know. Spunky looked sad. And then that dog that got chased by the German Shepherd, the gay German Shepherd.
And then we had this opening scene. We might as well get right into some clips here. So here we go.
We always did stuff like that to get back at people who mess with us.
Yeah.
There was this crossing guard who used to grab all the kids' asses. Back then, people weren't on the lookout for that kind of thing. The only way to nail a guy like that was to catch him red-handed. That's where the super glue came in.
You wonder how many people got away with shit like this back then, before everyone had cell phones or sensibilities or cared.
Oh, the good old days, man.
After all these years, this picture still makes me horny. I mean, wistful. It makes me wistful.
Very nice. Yeah. So I had a family member years and years ago who would have gatherings at their home and would bring, it was like a family reunion almost yearly or whatever. And he would bust into the bathroom and take photographs of people just like this. And I was like, this is the creepiest nonsense I've ever seen in my life. But, it happens, I guess.
Were you a victim of that as well?
I was not. It happened to be all female victims.
Oh, even better. There we go.
Yep.
That is so fucking creepy.
Right? You can't pick your family, man. That's just what happens around here. It's weird.
I have to say, I loved the kid that played him as a child. Like the younger one, when he's like, give me your milk money. And he's like, how do I know that you're going to buy milk with
I'm just afraid you're not going to use it.
Yeah. Yes. I'm just like, that is so amazing.
And he looks like a little Norm Macdonald too.
He for sure does, man. Yeah. They did some scouting for that too.
Yeah. The teenage one with Aunt Jenny, maybe not quite so much, but
right.
Yeah.
It was a good delivery.
But let's get a throw for Aunt Jenny. Hey.
Right.
Well, and that kid looked like so put together, like yuppie almost.
Yeah.
So
He needed an ascot.
Well, he clearly
and he was at a funeral, so
he peaked at 14. Once his mom died, it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Note to self.
So you guys a Norm Macdonald fan?
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh yeah. No drier, better sensibility. I mean, he's got the wit, man. He's so quick, and he's awesome.
But he's not acting, right? I mean, that's just Norm Macdonald.
He's playing himself for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch like the Saturday Night Live and stuff, that's just basically, him.
Yeah, he's out there playing Celebrity Jeopardy and everything he's in. He's just like, I mean,
the Burt Reynolds is him. He just kind of evolved into Burt Reynolds is what happened.
That's the Burt Reynolds we need right now.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. It's a big hat because it's bigger than usual.
Yeah, look at this hat I found backstage. It's funny.
I love all our shitty impressions on this podcast.
Well, that's because you're doing an impression of Norm Macdonald doing an impression, which is pretty much impossible because
you just blew my mind.
You can't get away from. I can't do his voice, but oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you just have to not care about anything. Turd Ferguson. That's forever he'll be. All right, let's get a little bit more of adult Norm Macdonald. Then we can use this to base our impressions off of.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe we'll be better.
Then the guy says, if you want the money for this pizza, you tell Aldo and the rest of those sweaty Italian fruits to come down here and get it from me themselves. Oh, and also, he started saying all these nasty things about that Mussolini character.
The guy called. I know you didn't make it on time.
He's right, though.
Look, Aldo, none of the other pizza places have the 30-minute thing anymore.
Yeah.
Can we drop it too?
Calm down.
You think we should drop the 30-minute guarantee?
That's some harsh criteria, man. 30 minutes.
Just like all the others.
There's a reason that died.
What's that?
There's a reason that whole thing died.
Yeah, like people died.
Yeah.
Like there were, pizza delivery drivers were rushing to get to people's houses and people were caught in the crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
They were knocking over their statues of jockeys and all that kind of stuff.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I feel like people that watch this now might not realize that was a real thing and that was a real practice,
Yeah, that's true. Which you'd think it would be more so now. Like the amount of instant gratification that people are like used to or into right now.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd be able to guarantee that if you pick up a phone and order a pizza, it's going to be on your doorstep, whether it be by drone or otherwise.
Only with drones, man. Yeah.
Well, and the guy that he delivered it to was such an asshole. Like if that was a delivery driver, I knew there was like stuff going on my street. I would be like, oh, no worries.
Yeah.
Glad you're safe. Whatever.
As a former pizza delivery driver, man, like no tip or nothing, just the door in your face. Like I'm coming back that night and you're getting some property damage.
Yeah, you're getting some dirty work.
Oh shit, yeah.
Speaking of that, that's funny. I was a delivery driver also for shout out to Seijo's Pizza.
Reopening May 1st.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yay.
Kyle, you went with me on my very first delivery. We both worked there briefly at the same time. Mm-hmm. I was the sub girl and the delivery driver. I was a delivery driver.
Damn fun when you were, man.
I was a delivery driver first, but then they said I asked them for more hours, and they said they didn't have anything open except for the sub girl position, which had notoriously always been manned by a woman. It was that's why they called it the sub girl. So I took that too. But yeah, I went out on my first ride with you, and everything went fine. And then I came back and I got another delivery and went out again, and was so very lost. This was obviously before like GPS and before like
and again, this is in Dalton, so the roads are kind of confusing out here in the country.
Yeah.
Right, very dirt roads, very much out in the middle of nowhere, and no points of reference. It's not like go till you get to the whatever and then take a left. It was just like it's that way.
Yeah.
How many tractors am I gonna have to try to find?
Right.
Well, and then I get to the guy's house, I'm panicking. Right, this is my like second delivery of ever. By my first one by myself, and I finally get to this guy's house after I had to like stop and call back and be like, where do I go from here? Got to his house. He comes out and he's like, holy shit, that was way faster than normal. And I was like, who the hell is bringing you your fucking pizzas? Because this is ridiculous.
Me.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it was Kyle. That is awesome.
That's why you can get more hours, because I got all my bullshit friends jobs there all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, come on in, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just stopping off on the way. But
I delivered pizza for Doster, and all of the roads.
I love Doster pizza.
I know, it's the best. Yep. And all of the roads there's like a bunch of different lakes right there, so they're all like Breezy Point and Wavy, whatever. And I'm just like, Yeah, I'm like, which lake is this on? You know, like I like it was back when you had the map on the wall and you were like, you'd go up and then you'd cuss out the people that answered the phone because you're like, motherfuckers, that is not within the 5-mile radius.
That's right. Get out the drones, man. That's where they
Yeah,
are.
that was like old school.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and everything's like a dead end, like private lake road or whatever too. Like you like, I'll just go down this road. The map says that it's got an ending. There's a way through to get here. It's like how people just blindly follow GPS now. Like that episode of The Office where he drove into the lake. You know?
It knows.
Like the map says there's a road here. There has to be a road here. You know?
So this movie came. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
No, I was just gonna get back to the movie. So,
Zoom
read my mind.
So this movie came out shortly after Norm Macdonald was fired from SNL.
Oh, that was rough.
Yes. And because of that, like it wasn't advertised on any of the NBC. Like NBC wasn't allowed to like air any of the advertisements for it. Which were there advertisements for this movie? Because I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know at all. I couldn't tell you one thing about any of the trailers for this. Yeah,
no.
I feel like this movie went like straight to video for me.
Yeah.
There was no theater involved.
This was another movie that I had on VHS though. I remember.
Oh yeah.
I think was he standing in front of like a white background?
A white
like
brick
a brick wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I for sure had this. This on VHS. So. Okay. Other supporting actors. Anybody else? This is a movie able to stand out for you guys.
Oh, cameos galore, but
for sure.
The famous Artie Lange. I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
Really in his game, man. Yeah. Super good in this movie.
I have to say, like, when I was young, just thought he was just a fat pig, like not attractive. 36-year-old me was like, I would hit that so bad. Like
Artie Lange? What?
Yes. Like I just thought he was so good looking in this movie, especially.
I was gonna say it's 1998 Artie Lange, right? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
I love when he's in the bar and he shakes his hands and his titties bounce.
But I just felt like I don't know, like he just was very clean shaven. I don't know. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Artie Lange, he was awesome. I don't know. I would have to say, I'm looking over here at my notes because there were tons of cameos. Sure. But I would say
Kyle,
probably
do you have a standout right off the bat here.
Pops was my favorite.
I love Pops, but I mean Chevy Chase, man, like he played that role so fucking great. I love that role.
I absolutely forgot he was in this movie.
I wanted him to help out.
What the fuck? And I was like, oh, here he is. And I was like, oh yeah, he must just be like a little bit part in this movie where he comes in as the doctor and then he leaves and never comes back. But he's this through line for the film, like the motivation, the whole story. Like, hell yeah, man.
That was probably the last movie where it was like tolerable to watch Chevy Chase, really.
Right, yeah, when he was still like shaped like Chevy Chase and still acted like Chevy Chase. And
didn't have those weird dentures where he's talking like this all the time. He's got a rasp or a whistle going on, some kind of.
I thought he was great. I thought Artie Lange again. I thought Artie Lange was amazing. He's been. I saw him recently in that. I think he was in Crashing. Did you guys see that at all?
No.
Show with I think it's Pete Holmes. About comedians. Yeah, he was great in that too. But he just looks so drastically different now. Like Artie Lange. He's been.
But the thing, like when I was little or younger, I just thought I'm like he is so ugly. Now I'm like, oh, he would. Yeah, I totally would hit that.
Are we gonna address the weird nose thing? I mean, this is the elephant in the room. You're like, what the fuck, Artie Lange, happened to you?
Yeah, he just cocained his nose off and then taped a piece of bacon on it, I think, or something.
Yes, there's some super like weird foreshadowing of Chris Farley's nose because they look quite similar now in real life.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Chris Farley, like you had to know, like as you're
a standout. Is it for you?
No.
Don't do it,
You had to know as you were watching this, you had to be like, oh my God, Mandy is hating this.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I found another Chris Farley movie. Jesus. Like I
was super surprised that you liked the movie in general, really.
I did. Oh yeah, I love it. But like when he's in the bar and he's just talking, I'm totally good with that. But it's like he couldn't just do that for the rest of the movie. He had to scream and take his weird squatty stance with his belly hanging down and just yell. And
Farley playing Farley, Norm playing Norm. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
I could have got my nose bit off by a Saigon whore. You bastard! I'm just messing with you, Jimmy. I saw you down there.
Yeah.
Hey, Mazzetti, get Jimmy a beer on me.
Okay.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
And Ian, let's talk about the racism, like blatant racism in this movie.
Oh,
When he's when he's yelling at her, when Chris Farley's yelling at her, and the fact that he's calling her a Saigon whore.
Saigon
whore.
Shut your
It's
cake hole,
horrible.
Yoko.
Yes, I'm just like, oh my god, like this would so not fly right now.
No. And how about the guns in the school desk too? I'm like,
right.
Oh yes,
That's a little rough too.
Yeah.
And did either of you guys feel bad for Gary Coleman? I felt like they were just like parading him out like some circus folk
No,
person.
he got a paycheck that he really needed. So I feel really good for Gary Coleman. Like,
Yeah,
good job, man. Sandler.
Yeah. Little Sandler action.
Again, that is not his best. Shabadoo!
But again,
No.
that's not him acting. I think that's just Adam Sandler in 1998.
He should have done this little Nicky character for that bit.
Right?
That would have been
I've never seen Little Nicky.
Oh, so good.
Know,
We'll have to do that movie.
Yeah,
I
everyone
know,
thinks
isn't
it's
that crazy?
amazing. But yeah.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, Matt will hate it.
Yeah.
Matt will hate it so hardcore.
If you didn't like it when it came out, you're not going to like it now.
Right, yeah.
It was super good. I like it.
Somebody had mentioned Pops, and I just want to play this.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Pops with Mitch here when they meet, kind of. This isn't the first time we hear from him, but this is when they kind of get their little sit-down meeting together here.
Feeling okay, Mr. McKenna?
Oh, hey, don't worry about me. I just want to thank you for spending a little time with me,
Oh, well, no problem.
Yeah. I also want to say I'm sorry.
He is great.
Sorry for what?
Well, for being a creepy old man. I apologize, you rat bastard.
Which is funny because that's his son, and he knows it's his son.
Yeah.
But we don't. Yeah.
I always thought that they called Pops because of the father thing, but on the background, if you look, there's a fight poster hanging up, and it says that's his nickname, as Pops in quotations of his name.
Oh,
so like, is it an old boxing name, or is he just an old boxer then?
Yeah, because he's like, pop, pop, get it?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Pops.
Or maybe he got it during the Stag film days, when he found his calling.
And like him watching it's like the same workout video with the ass to ass. Like,
yes.
I'm just like, this is crazy.
I feel like I've seen that in another like 80s or 90s movie before, that same workout video.
Yeah. I wonder if they had to have that commissioned. I wonder if they had to pay people to like dress in like weird spandex outfits.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because their two aerobicizers or whatever are like listed in the credits.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. When I was searching for cameos, I was like, really? So we talked about Satan. Originally, Howard Stern was supposed to play Satan.
Church lady.
All right, so far we've covered religion,
Satan,
racism, Satan.
No, Adam Sandler is Satan.
Yeah.
He actually like wasn't going to play that role. It was supposed to be Howard Stern, and he backed out.
Oh,
and then Adam Sandler was like, "I'll do it," but it's gonna be a Shabadoo Satan.
Yeah. And let's be honest, that's a Satan we all want.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely eating that pig.
Some of us will know someday.
Yeah.
I mean, if I get invited in, I'm eating the pig for sure.
So other people that were cameos, James Downey was the homeless guy, and he was also in Saturday Night Live, but also in Billy Madison. He plays, the mediator of
white guy. The wife guy.
Oh yeah,
the wife guy. Yes.
Yeah.
We're all now dumber from having listened to it.
Yeah, which he had the same kind of
basically
thing.
The same part. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kevin Farley, he played the theater guy that gets balled out by.
Which I wondered. It was weird because they're both in the same movie. I wondered how many times that happened. I didn't know if he because there's Kevin. And
I don't think he made cameos in all his other movies or anything.
Right, but he's been in some since. But I just wondered if how many times they actually worked together on screen. But
I don't think there was another one.
I read that this was Chris Farley's last film that was released before he died. I don't know how accurate that is.
Okay, well, I know he died during the filming of almost
Shrek
Heroes, right?
Or he did the
ADR shit for Shrek.
Yeah,
and you can still find it on YouTube. And what a weird listen, man.
For sure.
No. I can't do it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's just like I could never watch Eddie Murphy ever again because that's all I would hear.
So
Really?
So are you a fan of Mike Myers as Shrek, Mandy?
Me? Hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
No turning back on that one.
No, it's so great. Also, Rebecca Romijn, obviously. Previously, Rebecca Romijn Stamos.
Oh yeah, the bearded broad. Yeah.
Bearded lady, yeah.
Yeah.
Was she married to the fat
John.
kid from? No, didn't she get remarried to the fat kid from Stand By Me, whatever his name
Oh
is?
yeah, Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, O'Connell. Yeah.
Yes.
There you
Yes,
go.
I think you're
Jesse
right.
messed that one up, man.
Uncle Jesse's.
Yeah,
sloppy seconds
right?
there.
Sloppy. I know. Seriously.
And now he's back to Fuller House.
It's true.
Right. And then I was totally like freaking shocked when John Goodman walked out on
Right.
stage
Yeah,
as
what
the
the-
mayor.
Super awkward cameo right there.
Yeah.
I know. And I love him so much. And then Fred Wolf, who was one of the writers for SNL and pretty much like every post SNL movie,
Yeah.
was the farting homeless guy, the guy that was like, excuse me,
Man, it
excuse
really
me.
stinks over here. It must have been when I farted earlier.
And Norm
Oh my
totally
God.
ripped the homeless guys off. First, he said he'd give them each $1, and then he
Yeah.
ended up giving them $2 total. What a
It's a
jit!
split. For sure.
Oh, I know.
Hey, what the fuck?
And that was in the middle of the poor guy's story. Like,
Yeah.
here you go.
Even his
love-
homeless friends left the story the second time. I'm like, ooh, even your homeless buddies don't give a shit.
And then we had. Let's play Chevy Chase. We talked about him already. He was one of the cameos here. Let me play this.
Now, let me ask you, are you a betting man?
I don't know. Sure.
Well, if someone were taking bets on your father's bout with death,
I feel like
I
him
bet
and Norm
my-
Macdonald
on
together,
death.
if they were having a conversation, would
Good
just be
bet.
no
Odds are
emotion
you'll
and
Oh,
just this.
Yeah.
And I would
You
love it.
Prepared him a little for that.
Kind of thought I did with that whole betting. analogy.
Betting.
Look, what is wrong with my dad?
Oh, your dad. In a nutshell, your dad needs a heart transplant.
He's just so damn Chevy Chase.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that's the whole premise of this film is Artie Lange's dad is dying. He needs a heart transplant.
Well, it's Artie Lange's dad and
But yes, in the meantime,
Norm
we find out
Macdonald's.
that it's also Norm Macdonald's dad, and they've been brothers the whole time. And that time that he took a peek at his at Artie Lange's sister's underwear under the bleachers was real awkward.
no, then they had sex.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess
So
that's awkward.
you had sex with your sister.
All right, enough reminiscing.
Yeah. We get the lead up to that is this here.
Holy Lord! That's a picture of you and my mom, and you're having sex. God, why would you show me that?
I love it.
You cheated on mom? No, she was there. Who do you think took the picture?
Yeah.
There are so many parts in this movie that I remember quoting or just using in everyday life that I
Yeah, oh, yeah.
absolutely forgot were from this movie.
I was gonna say the same
Yeah.
thing.
I'm like, oh my God, that's why I say this.
No,
Or
don't
like,
get Terry.
Yeah. Or who's that dude? Every time I see someone,
Yeah.
whether it's a man or
no.
a woman. We get the incomparable Don Rickles also shows up in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually they were Bob Saget. I don't know if you know this. Bob Saget is the director of
Directed,
this movie,
yeah.
which
Which
I
is
was like, holy
crazy.
crap. Yeah,
Has
and
he directed more movies since then, or was this like his only one?
know. I feel like he just pops up in random places, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know that was him.
Well, that makes
So-
sense why it was like super raunchy. Like the concept initially was super raunchy, and then they kind of
Yes.
ironed it out.
Would
But,
have been amazing.
oh man,
But
I
they
am not
he
a
was
fan of Bob Saget, like of Bob Saget's comedy or his.
you think he's just too
persona.
over the top? Like
Yeah,
he uses that as a crutch?
shock,
I think he's
yeah, it's shock
compensating.
factor.
Yeah,
He's compensating for Full House. I think he doesn't
Yeah.
want to be seen as that guy.
Danny Tanner, right?
Yeah.
Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh my
What?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. no,
Whatever. He's
uh,
probably still. I mean, I still watch all the old America's Funniest Home
not a fan of
Videos.
the Carlton years. Oh, yeah.
The Carlton, yeah.
The new ones. Yeah.
What a perfect guy to fill that position, though. I mean, come on. I mean,
Right.
what else was Alfonso Roberto going to do anyway? How long can you milk the dance? You know?
Right.
Yes.
So
Well,
was
he was on Dancing with the Stars or whatever. He was pretty good on that.
Oh yeah,
I
he's
also
got
think
moves.
I heard that he tried to sue someone over that. Didn't he try to sue Fortnite or something?
Fortnite, yeah.
Over the Carlton?
Yeah, trying to do his dance. Yeah.
Oh my God. You know that he's hurting for bucks when he tries to sue some poor kid's video game because
you guys remember me?
Him.
No.
He's like,
he should be glad that he still fucking has like any room in anyone's like lives for anything.
He's still culturally relevant.
Yeah, relevant. Thank you. God, I was like reaching for that word.
Culturally relevant. He hosted like the 21 game show for like 5 years, and that was like the lowest form of game shows there was.
Yeah, game show network fodder, just kind of in between. Yeah, reruns of the match game. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, here's Don Rickles.
Gentlemen, members of the National Office are coming here tonight for their annual inspection of this theater. Right now, I'm going to explain to you my managing style for the benefit of the new guy.
I feel like I could use a boss like this.
His everyone sucking sand line is so not good to say, but I remember saying it multiple times.
Dude.
Why don't you work a zoo and stop bothering people? Got a call yesterday from Baskin Robbins. They said that they're down to only 5 flavors. It's swelling up as I talk. Look at you. How's this? How's it doing? Hello, ice cream. Having a good time? Running around?
He's not even that fat, really.
No.
What are you laughing at? Because I called your friend a fat pig, huh? I think that's funny.
Oh, no, I was just laughing earlier when you were talking to his belly.
Yeah.
Don't bother anybody.
Buy a horse and go live in the mountains and don't bother anybody.
I was laughing earlier when you were talking to his belly.
I say that all the time. I was laughing earlier. Yeah, I love it. Again, it's
so
unbelievable how much of these movies like have woven themselves into my brain so
subconsciously,
far
man.
that I've forgotten the origins. Like
it's
like how if you tell yourself a lie enough times, you start to believe it, or you don't question it.
Yeah. Like, that's what really happened. Or, like, when you tell a story and your parents are like, you were one. I've heard it so many times, I swear to God, I know it happened.
Yeah.
The reason I brought up Bob Saget is because the Hamilton, the Don Nichols or whatever, Don Rickles.
Ron Dickles? Yeah, sure.
Ron Dickles.
That was his
cousin,
yeah. he was originally supposed to be played by... Can't get no respect. What's Rodney Dangerfield?
Hey, I tell you, buy a hat like that, you get a free bowl of soup.
Yeah, and so
we still haven't done that movie.
Honestly, I think that if he would have been him, we would still be sitting here waiting for like the punchline of all the
Yeah, you still just keep ripping into him. Yeah,
not a fan.
I want to see the outtakes from those scenes.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Okay, we are just about to the end of our first half, guys. This creeped up on us real fast.
What?
So before we get to the end of the first half, we do have an activity that we like to play with all of our guests, and you've done it a couple of times, Kyle, I think. I don't remember
Zoom
from the first time.
No, we didn't have any fancy games the first time, man. That was like in the early Baker's Dozen days.
Right.
All right. Fuck, I forgot to transfer the file over. Hold on, wait for it.
So the game is Chop the Synopsis.
That's what it's called.
You're gonna
fuck it, we'll do it live. All right, it's time to listen to this theme song. Chop this synopsis.
It's gonna be so bad because I'm on a delay. Anyways, the game is Chop the Synopsis.
Guys, listen, if you're watching us on YouTube, this is the 3rd episode you've seen. If you've never listened to the actual podcast, sorry, go listen to the podcast. It's normally not better. It's normally not like a.
Luckily, he's a friend from high school and not some like famous comedian that we've been like begging to come on here.
Right, yeah, Kyle knows this was a shit show before he came on.
Hey, I've been in movies here. Come on.
That's true. That you're our only guest that's been on movies. All right. So Chop the Synopsis, Kyle. You need to break this movie down into 10 words or less synopsis.
Okay.
Describe the film Dirty Work in 10 words or less. We'll have the break to figure it out, right?
There you go.
Yeah, and when we come back, we'll get your 10-word synopsis.
Let's do it.
I guess we'll be right back after these messages.
Jamie, I need you to keep the dogs quiet. I'm recording a commercial for the Elemental podcast, so can you keep them quiet during this recording of my commercial for the Elemental podcast? I mean, I know the dogs bark a whole lot when we actually record the podcast on Mondays and Thursdays and during the Patreon on Saturdays. But during the commercial, we need the recording to be dog bark free. Can you do that for me, Jamie? Can you keep the dogs quiet during the recording of this commercial for the Elemental podcast that people can listen to every Monday and Thursday and the Patreon on Saturday? Can you do that for me, Jamie? Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm Mike Logan.
I'm Garrett Elzinga.
And this better be good. You know what it is. It's a weekly podcast where Garrett and myself, two professional comedians, review a movie before seeing it and review it again after seeing it. And this is an ad for our podcast.
It is true.
You can find our podcast on all podcasting platforms. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. It's
Stitcher.
everywhere. Except for SoundCloud, because fuck SoundCloud.
That's what we used to use, and now we use Anchor. Anchor's fantastic. You guys should check it out.
It's true. If you like movies and you like funny anecdotes, and we also talk about movie news, and we've got witty, great banter, download our podcast now. If you're listening to this podcast, odds are pretty good you'll like our podcast.
It's true. We're incredibly funny, incredibly witty. I love Mike a whole lot. I don't know if he loves me as much as I love him.
So yeah, download our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm Mike Logan.
I'm Garrett Elzinga.
And that was an ad.
Oh, okay. Well, that was clever.
Yeah, well.
Synopsis.
Okay, here it is.
Chop this synopsis. Chop this synopsis.
And we're back. All right. It is time for the rousing conclusion of Chop This Synopsis. So, Kyle, if you could please regale us with your 10-word or less synopsis of Dirty Work.
All right. You're going to want to watch this movie. Two wistful brothers open a legal business while shooter thumbs dog.
Okay. Now, that is very specific to some people that have not seen this movie. Or like just the shooter thumbs dog for one thing.
Yeah, he's definitely doing that dog.
And like, oh my gosh, that was so creative. I love it.
Shooter thumbs dog. Love it.
Oh,
all right,
God.
we missed this clip on the first half. It was toward the beginning of the film that I definitely wanted to hit, so I'm just going to play it now for no reason. Here it is.
There's two kinds of people in this world: those who get stomped on, and those who do the stomping.
Where'd you come up with that theory?
That famous guy said it. What's his name? Oh yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Mitch.
Good introductory line, man. Not bad. Not bad.
For sure. And she never does tell him her name. Like, was such a what a bitch move to.
Well, they cut away to the bar fight. So
That's
what did
true.
they talk about then during that time?
Right. Yeah.
And her name's Taylor Howard. I love her. I don't know. Did you guys ever watch Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place when it was on?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes. It had Ryan Reynolds before anybody knew who he was.
I would have never put that together though.
Oh God, I loved that show so much, and it was only on for like 1 or 2 seasons.
Well,
max.
yeah, they had to cut the name because it was too long. Now it's just Two Guys and a Girl.
Yeah, exactly. And then so it was kind of like How I Met Your
They
Mother
had to compete
before How I
against
Met
two
Your Mother.
girls and one. You know.
2 girls in 1 cup.
Yeah,
so yeah,
they got a lot of extra clicks because of that. I bet. We're like,
Oh, I
see
bet.
this one too.
Right?
A sequel.
I love it. And there's pizza.
Yeah.
So and also she was in Monk. She was in like the first episode or first couple episodes of Monk.
Never got into the Monk, but yeah.
I'm a
so
Shalhoub
good.
fan, but
yeah, Tony Shalhoub, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's an amazing show. But anyways, she's great. I think she does a good job.
Mildred, wait up.
I love it.
Hi, Rich.
Another line used all the time.
Yep.
I guess you forgot my name. It's not Mildred, it's Kathy.
Oh no, I didn't forget. You never told me, so I just guessed.
Oh, that's a novel approach. So, how'd the big fight with those fraternity guys turn out?
We kicked their ass. I was punching one guy, and I was kicking this other guy. I threw this one dude right through a plate glass window.
I love it.
Yeah, well, sort of, except the exact opposite.
Again, something I say all the time.
Silly for grown men to fight.
Kidding? Did you ever see that movie Kickboxer? They're all grown men. So where are we going? Like your apartment or something now?
I love that.
Yeah.
So where we just invites himself along. Love it.
Like honestly, he's super creepy. Like I don't know,
But in a
She
lovable
has-
way.
maybe.
That's
I
not
guess.
a stance I thought you were going to take. I really didn't think you'd be going after.
Yeah,
our
Mandy, you want to fucking nose-bitten real Artie Lange and Norm Macdonald's creepy? Like, come on.
No, I think, don't get me wrong, I think that Norm Macdonald is so cute. Like the dimples. The dimples are adorable. I think he is a very good-looking man.
Mm-hmm.
But like when he's like, "So are we going to your apartment or something?" Like, oh, I'm just
wait, is that your reattempt at Norm Macdonald after having heard his voice? I think it was better before you heard his voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like all I can think of is like maybe the Billy Madison. He's like, "Oh, I remember to do that." Like I don't know, like.
Yeah.
October.
This is the greatest day of my life. I don't know. Like, I can't do it. Whatever.
What day is
Whatevs.
October.
What day is it?
It's better than your Ray Romano. I'll give you that.
That's true.
Yeah. October.
Deborah. No. It's like Battle of Worst Impression.
Kyle, we totally had Punky Brewster's uncle in our last movie, our Police Academy movie.
Police Academy.
So yeah, I was listening to it in the shower before today. I was like, prime for the podcast tonight, and I'm like, yes, throwing out the Punky. Oh, Punky. You have a dog named Brandon. Oh, Punky.
You know what's fun? I wish that was the only impression that you could ever do. Like that's your claim to fame is Commandant Lassard or whatever.
I'm gonna recycle it every time I'm on the podcast. You better believe it.
I thought of you. So I was like, Punky.
Yeah, very good. My dad. Very good.
It was best because I had no clue initially what you were talking about, and you just kept going Punky, and I was like, "What are you saying?"
Yeah,
oh,
it's an earworm.
Now he gets.
Oh my gosh, I am like crying right now.
Punky.
All right.
Okay,
So
do you want to do box office theme song?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness! What are you doing? I've never seen so many dead hookers in all my life.
Lord knows I have.
That's true.
And that's the dude from Black Sheep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he's not the guy? He's not the you suck jackass.
I don't
No.
think so,
He's very much that same sort of dude.
Yeah, same character, man.
They both have like wispy hair, but no, it's not the same guy.
All right, are we doing you wanna do
Wispy.
box office?
We can, yeah.
Picture wistful.
I meant yeah, he has real horny hair. I'm sorry, I meant wispy.
Yeah, exactly.
Box office theme song. Oh yeah! All right, it's time for the box office part of the podcast.
All right. So I know what the budget is, but I feel like this might be misinformation. So I'm just gonna throw that out there right away.
So we're
I feel like
misinformation knowingly on this podcast.
I heard from a couple different sources. So I have two different
that sounds like you called up your friend.
She's got people.
Yeah, I heard from different sources.
I read in some
There's this
fun
buddy of mine.
facts.
He works at the box office. You know.
Yeah.
The box.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, I'm just gonna give you the information that I found.
Okay.
So, how much do you think this movie cost to make? And even though I don't think this is correct.
10 million.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Matt?
I'm gonna say $12 million.
Okay. I heard 13 million.
I was gonna say 13.
Okay, so the reason why this is so jacked up, and I'm not even going to ask you guys how much you think the movie made, is because it said, I read in two different places that it made 13 million in the theater, and then it made more money via like on video.
Yeah, rental and shit.
But
movie.
Yeah.
But the only two totals that I could find were 13 million and 10 million. So obviously that's not correct. So I want to hope I want to hope that they broke even. And so I'm going to say 13 million. It cost 13 million and they made 13 million.
It's crazy because I feel like this could have been the start of like a TV show. I feel like this could
they talked about doing a sequel.
Okay, yeah.
What? No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Norm Macdonald's all about it because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have anything going on right now.
Yeah. Well, he's got a talk show now, doesn't he?
I think I've seen something like that. Yeah.
He looks,
oh my gosh.
He looks like he's aged 40 years in the 20 years since this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, him and Artie Lange have probably been doing cocaine
I
together.
think Artie Lange looks better than him now, like even with the fucked up nose and everything, like for real.
Oh no.
Even with the fucked up
Yeah.
nose. God, I feel so bad for Artie Lange.
I feel like a
that's just
20-minute
what he's
portion of this
known for.
podcast should be like nothing but Artie's Lange nose jokes and like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what Artie Lange's famous for. You never heard that?
No.
No, I didn't pull that. I was going to
never
pull
heard of
that whole
that.
exchange, but
Yeah.
Instead of that, I did pull this though, the afterglow.
Ridiculous.
Fellas have a lot of growing up to do, I'll tell you that. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous.
I never heard of that.
That's what they're most famous for.
Way out of line.
Way out of line.
Way out of line.
You know what hurts the most is the lack of respect. You know? That's what hurts the most. Except for
This is so Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
that hurts the most.
That
Lack of
hurts the
respect.
That hurts the most.
Oh, my face hurts. It's so fun.
Oh man.
Well, and how shitty that like he couldn't get they couldn't have come and gotten him like 20 minutes earlier.
Right.
Like it's literally after they're done.
They knew it was going down. They're like, hold on, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
They had to deal with
so
the
funny.
with the guard. It's best to just let him finish.
You're wearing short pants.
He's got a bit of
Oh.
Mississippi Leghound in him. So I'm running short on clips here, folks. I didn't really pull a ton extra.
I
So
feel
you got
like
any
we've
more?
listened to quite a few.
Yeah, you got any more fun facts at all, or did we spend them all?
No, there were not a lot of fun facts. And then when I searched for fun, like dirty work movie fun facts,
Sure.
it brought up a lot of weird, like sex, like 75
dirty
weird
work.
sex facts.
Oh, cool.
It was like, there was nothing. I
That
tried
was in
dirty
your
work
recent
movie.
browser anyway. So.
Yeah, how to get
It's
dirty at
it's
work.
at my personal computer,
How to
whatever.
stay dirty while working from home. You know?
So
One thing I noticed is the color in this movie, like all the sets and the wardrobe are super vibrant.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Half Baked, how that was so colorful in the movie. I bet the set director or the wardrobe person's the same person.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
They
makes sense.
probably also figured that a bunch of stoners were going to watch this movie, which
Sure,
is
gotta
probably
keep their
true.
attention. Yeah.
right.
We didn't play any of Cole at all. Any of Shooter McGavin.
Oh yeah,
here?
Shooter McGavin.
I only pulled one of his clips, and it's just the end when he's being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
What a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, where's our money?
What money?
You owe us $50,000 for getting the building at 99 Franklin Street condemned. We want it now.
But Mitch, I don't even own the building at 99 Franklin. Well, I told you I did, but I lied. Good luck trying
Son
to
of a
prove it.
bitch.
He plays the perfect
Plays
bitch.
You know how
such
much
a
you stopped
dick.
my bulldozer from leveling that old.
Yeah, whatever. We don't care.
So I do have one more fun fact. Don Rickles, he like is ad-libbed most of the insults. At one point he started insulting Norm Macdonald and he forgot to say Mitch and he started calling him Norm Macdonald. And everyone like that is just awesome. I wish that we could have seen those like outtakes.
Yeah,
It's funny because I was just talking about the last one that we did that had outtakes, and I was like, we
Yeah,
haven't done
Liar
any
Liar.
Yeah, Liar Liar
Yes.
had outtakes at the end. I was like, I feel like that's what got the ball rolling for like outtakes and shit, you know. But
Mhm.
clearly,
Yes.
this movie was the year prior, right? Was
98?
no?
I feel like
Liar
no,
Liar
Liar Liar came
97?
out in 97.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, maybe they did start the ball rolling then, because yeah, and I love outtakes. I think they're the greatest. There should just be all
So
the
great.
whole movie should just be outtakes, as far as
So
I'm concerned.
during that the last clip right there, though, didn't they kind of incriminate themselves on that as well as
Yes,
him?
they did, and
Uh,
I also thought so. They give the building back to what's his fuck
Kirkpatrick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick, but it's still condemned.
Yeah,
It's
but why does it go to
fuck him
why does
over.
it go to Shooter? How does he get like? It
Well,
would go
he's
to
the mayor,
government,
right? Like
No, the mayor is John Goodman.
No,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just a dude.
I don't understand how what purpose that like. Why was he allowed to knock down that building and put a parking lot in or whatever?
Well, it's like, yeah, I don't know.
None of it seemed. Yeah, it didn't really seem that well thought out. But yeah, for sure, Kirkpatrick gets that building back, but it's still destroyed. Like he still owes, or he would have to pay like millions of dollars to get that building back up and running.
In what world would Kathy be like, oh, it's okay now? Like I'm even though like you made my grandmother homeless and she can no longer sew.
You
In the
thought she was
90s,
a
Mandy.
whore.
It was the 90s. No.
For sure. Yeah, they thought she was selling crack out of that house. You know, the whole war on drugs thing. He was doing a good.
Hey, we don't know what all was going on in that apartment, man.
That's
Maybe
true.
there was some side business.
Just because
I don't
she
know.
was sewing things, and she's got
Mhm.
an unlisted business, like she's running a business out of her apartment. I doubt that was legit. I mean, come
I
on.
want to see some papers.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Honestly, the person that got screwed over the most in this movie was the opera singer, the woman, the female opera singer, because
For sure.
she had Pops like chasing her, and then they landed on her, and
Yeah.
that poor woman just didn't know. I feel like there was so much litigation after this. Like Norm might have gotten Kathy, but then like down the road, or Mitch would have gotten Kathy down the road. Like he would have been sued by all these people that he's like revenged on.
Not to mention all the bloody footprints at the murder scene with like
sure.
20 dead people.
Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about that
Now
scene.
he's killing me with the chainsaw.
That was, I actually forgot about that part, and I don't know if I got that far the last time I watched it, because when I watched it this time, I was just like, I had my earbuds in, and we were at the lake today at the cottage, and I'm all sunburnt. I know, right? You're welcome.
You're glowing.
And my daughter's sitting, she wanted to snuggle, and so she's sitting there watching her like some Monster High movie on her tablet. I have my earbuds in, and she looked at my phone and she thought it was on pause. And she's like, "What?" She's like, "Why are you laughing?" Because they're just standing there holding the fish. She's like, "Why are you laughing when your movie's on pause?" Yeah. And I'm like, "It's not on pause." And it was so hilarious to me, because they stand there for so long.
that whole sequence goes to where it's not funny to where it's funny again.
Yeah.
I know. Yes.
Now you're killing
for sure.
me with that chainsaw is the greatest.
It's very Will Ferrell.
To cut down trees.
I never caught that until I watched it with captions either. I never caught that line.
Yes.
When I watched
so
captions this time around, I meant to say that when I watched it with captions, they toned down everything. They didn't use like instead of horror, they said like broad, and instead of like, everything, it was weird. I was like, oh, it's like they closed captioned it for TV.
They're toning down a toned down movie.
Yeah, and they
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. I'm like, this is not even what they're saying.
That's it. Okay, let's move on to our other.
You want to do ages?
Yes, let's do that one, please. Fuck, coming in hot. How old are you?
Eventually, we're gonna have a new song for this.
That's true. We did get a couple submissions, but I'm still holding out.
Oh.
I think Feltner said he was going to give us one, and then also Stu said he's like, "Oh, I'm going to have to submit something too." So.
Stu's just
and
gonna
then
be
Kyle.
like, "How old are you?"
I'm gonna do one.
Yeah, you got to get us something, man.
I'm gonna give you one.
You should.
I'm gonna
just remember we're on YouTube now, so we can't use any of this.
Oh, we can. We talked to Nick.
Crap.
Nick seemed to think it was okay.
And not 15 of them joined together. Definitely not that.
Right, for sure. As long as we talk over them, it's like we're commenting on them, so it becomes satire or whatever. Like it's fair use or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We're hoping that this is the case. Whatever.
So yeah, we're gonna tell you people that were in this movie, and you're gonna tell us how old they were when this movie was filmed.
Okay, so in 1998, how old do you think Norm Macdonald was?
I feel like they are close to our age. I'm gonna go 30.
Okay. Nat?
6. No, yeah.
You didn't give him time. I'll say 35.
Okay. Norm was 39.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah.
He looks so
he's
fucking
pushing
old now.
40. Yeah.
He just looked really good then. Now he just looks normal.
Huh.
All right. So how old do you think Artie Lange was?
34.
Okay.
40.
31. That's why he looks so good. He was 31.
No
yeah.
shit.
He's young.
Yeah,
and spry.
exactly. He was. I'm telling you, I thought he was cute. I have no problem with a little bit of like, softness around the middle.
Like
whatever.
a dad bod. That's what you're looking
Yeah. As long as his teeth are good, I'm fine. We've
There
talked
you go.
about this before.
Doesn't matter if his nose is okay.
Well, I haven't.
Gone.
I'm talking about back then.
She's got a real thing for both Michael Jackson and Artie Lange.
Yeah, and for some reason I love the Sphinx. I don't know.
The,
All right.
Like they could have
the
traded
judge from
noses.
Nothing But Trouble.
Yeah, I love. Okay, Matt has never seen that movie.
No,
We are doing
Yeah.
I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude,
It is one of my favorites.
That's
We're
an
gonna have to
amazing
do that
movie.
For sure.
Yes.
We'll have to get to it eventually.
Okay. How old do you think that Jack Warden, who played Pops, was?
Oh my God. It's funny. I love it when they toned him down to make him the younger version, and it was just him wearing like a tracksuit. Yeah, he's considerably younger here.
Yeah, we'll comb his hair back a little bit. You're
Right.
good.
No, I'm gonna 62.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I would imagine he was probably well into his, I'm going to say 65.
Okay, he was 70.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and that's Jack Warden, and he died in 2006. So rips to Warden, or rips to Pops.
Rips to Pops.
And then
generally not supposed to follow that with laughter, but it's just.
I know, right? Well, I mean, he was old.
It was
he was
the
old
Pops.
He was old AF when he died, so
For
we're
sure.
totally fine there. I only got one more. How old do you think Kathy was? Taylor.
26.
Huh?
I said
Mildred. 26?
I'll say 29.
33.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Mildred's looking.
Yep.
good.
And I've been calling her Taylor Howard. Her name is Trailer,
Trailer?
but it's TRAYLOR.
What?
That's weird as fuck.
Trailer.
I think
Yeah.
maybe someone at IMDb did a little typo there, maybe.
You fit right in here in Kentucky.
I mean, it's possible. I know, right? Like, if you name your kid Trailer, like, I'm pretty sure you're just, but it's not spelled the same. So maybe she goes by Trey. I don't know.
Yeah, they did a terrible job no matter what.
It's like the Seinfeld bit. You name your kid Jeeves, you pretty much planned out his whole future.
For sure.
Right.
All right, and that was the last one?
Yeah, that was it.
All right. You want to move
What's
straight
the
on to
deal with these people named Jeeves? That was my
right on to the
Seinfeld.
next game? All right, we're going to do
Sure.
it. I was gonna
I
say,
am
no
not
one's
gonna
answering
do
me.
well.
Here we go.
Time we stop, children, what's that sound? Do you hear what I hear? What's that sound? Do you hear what I hear? What's that sound?
All right, it is time for us to play What's That Sound? That's the game where I take some sounds from this movie, play them to you, and then you tell me what's happening on screen during that sound. This is definitely
Kyle is going to get them all. I know it. He always has. And
I got 0 out of 3 on Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, shit.
No, you guys
Oh,
killed
really?
me on that. Yeah.
This is
Oh.
considerably
back.
harder. This
Yeah,
is considerably
well,
harder over Zoom.
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get any of these anyways, but we'll
Right.
see.
So I'm going to do this one first. It's going to be, I'm going to turn it down. So I'll have to play it again and turned up, but I don't want to crash out your ears first. So here we
I
go.
always feel like the first time you play it, we hear it best.
Okay. Well, fuck it. I'll turn it up then. I left a little bit of the soundtrack in there too, just to
I couldn't even
help.
hear it.
One of the times he gets thrown into the dumpster?
No, I'm going to play it again just because it was a little quiet.
Oh my gosh. That is like impossible.
One more.
Okay. I'm going to turn it down just to.
I leaned forward like I was going to hear it better.
The popcorn machine.
It is the popcorn machine.
Oh!
Yeah. I was like, it's pretty early in the film, but you got
Okay,
it.
I seriously turned my headphones up to hear the sound, and then I got popcorn machine screaming in my ears. So that was fun.
You're welcome.
All right. You're 1 for 1, man.
All right.
Do you want to take the money and go, or you want to try for the second?
We're going to press on.
All right.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop. After everyone gets murdered, they're walking around, walking out of the house.
Yep, that's walking through the bloodbath. Is what I.
Good job.
Very good. Very good. All right, now this one's going to be the tough one, I think. I don't know.
Okay. Ooh.
There's some real subtle noises happening to help kind of hint that along, and just a taste of somebody about to say a word at the end here.
It's all garbled for me. The second time around never works.
One more.
I want you to get it so bad.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying you, but yeah. Who and why? It's in there somewhere, bouncing around.
Oh, no. I want to get it so bad.
Yeah, for sure. And Mandy, you got nothing? You want to take a swing at it and see what happens?
Can you play it one more time?
For sure.
Oh, I know.
Yes! Say it!
I know.
It happened
It's
again.
After he pisses on the dude, he comes
Yes! Yes!
It's him coming up on the roof. He's coming up on the
So
roof.
good.
up. That was a hell of a
Still
twist.
dripping. He's still dripping of urine when he gets to the roof. I love it.
Yes.
Very good.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Yay.
man. Redemption is mine.
Everything's coming up threes for you. We got the
Right.
3-peat,
Yeah.
3 for 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So that
so
is
awesome.
the end of What's That Sound. Nice job. Nice job. Nothing left for the audience to clean up. So very good with that. I mean, I guess
honestly, I don't know anybody else that's seen that movie other than the three of us.
I
So
know.
there's-
I know.
I was just talking to David Steves. I just sent him a message about something else unrelated, and I was like, "Hey, we're doing the podcast tonight, and it's this movie." And he's like, "Oh my god, I love this movie. Who's on it?" And yeah, so at least he's aware of it.
Okay.
One of his faves.
So there's a few people, but
Yeah.
not enough. If you haven't seen it, you guys should go watch it.
For sure. Yeah, and then I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. What do we got for like final thoughts? Any outstanding parts we didn't talk about? Anything like that? We still need to mention.
It's a quick watch, man. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, but like it flows really good. Recommend it highly. Great 90s bullshit comedy. I mean, fits right in there in the Dumb and Dumber and all the Farley
I feel like
brothers.
this even has like more to it than Dumb and Dumber. I feel like
Yeah,
a lot. Like the comedy is a lot more like well thought out and better. It's not just Jim Carrey's craziness.
Smart and smarter.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's your
I
new
honestly-
tagline. It's just
I
a
could-
word synopsis.
Yeah.
I could have done literally without every single cameo. Like that to me was like the part where I was just like, ugh. Like the second time I watched it, I was just like fast forward because
I
just had to
love
get it.
when Don Rickles comes back on the answering machine.
Yes.
Oh,
You fat when you sweat.
I saw you on
Yes.
TV.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I want to throw this out there. If you're listening to the podcast, you're not going to enjoy this relic. But if you are watching on YouTube, Matt's got this really cool Back to the Future, like fading out of the picture thing with his cardigan going on.
I know.
Oh, man. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I flux in and out every once in a while. Yeah, go
With
check
your
it out.
fancy, you got the green screen going on, man. It looks good.
You know what it is? It's fucking Zoom technology. This isn't even a green screen.
Oh, no way.
It's like it asks you. It says, "Do you have a green screen?" And I said no, and it still does it for you. So it's digital. Like if I move around enough,
Yeah. There goes the Kurt Cobain disappears off you.
between my fingers, you can kind of see what's in the room behind me. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, so it's got some crazy ass Zoom technology going on here. It's the greatest.
Yeah, Matt's like, "Do you want to have a background?" And I'm like, "No, because it's hard for me to watch you." Where you you just like keep disappearing. You're like a floating head half the time.
You can have like ponies and shit running in the background if you wanted to.
Why don't you turn it on to the terror setting? That's what I have mine.
yeah, he's in the bunker setting over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there needs to be like caves behind you.
We are in a quarantine right now, people.
We
See
should
the
put
TP
ourselves
stack
in
behind me.
We should put ourselves in tropical locations just so we feel better about life.
Right.
I did notice the logo on the TV there every once in a while coming up, so that's exciting.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Kyle.
I try to rep it for you guys. I know it like pauses out, but
I was
yeah,
gonna say
we
right now
tried.
it's got just some lines, but that's cool too, man.
Yeah.
So did we talk about anything else that was left? Oh, how do we make this movie better?
Ooh.
Do we
R rating?
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Like this needs to be like Kevin Smith raunchy. Like I want there to be like that would have Free Reign would have been amazing. I feel like with this.
Sure.
They got the footage. I mean, splice it together and we'll buy it.
Right.
3 people right here are going to buy it.
We did get the outtakes. I'll play the outtakes now just because I haven't had a chance to yet here.
Nice doing business with you.
Oh my God in heaven.
Jiminy Christmas.
Sorry, everyone. This is just very much a visual outtake right now. I was trying to put the stethoscope in his ears.
Yeah.
Now you probably.
And I want to know what he's laughing about. It really pisses me off that
Right.
they don't show the previous thing.
Yeah, and it's a bare bones DVD. There's no like making of or documentary or anything like that, which would be totally cool.
We get Don Rickles at the end. That's really all I care about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you.
Have you always been like this? How you got this movie, I'll never know.
Some other
Norm.
No.
Go camping?
What?
No, just you and me.
Okay, let's go.
It's lonely.
Okay.
I do like Chris Farley's laugh there at the end, because like you wonder, like, does he really laugh that way like Tommy does, you know?
Yeah, that's a genuine Farley laugh right there.
Yeah, which is kind of fun, because you never know what's genuine with somebody that all they do is get red in the face and scream.
Right. But he's damn good at it.
All right, so now's the time when we point people toward things, whether it's plugs of your own, or if you're just enjoying stuff in the world that you want people to look at or see.
Well, yeah, after the quarantine's over, check me out if you need good DJ services, weddings, events, bar mitzvahs, quinceañera, whatever you got. Upbeat Sound and Party. Check it out on upbeatsoundandparty.com.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, and you do karaoke too, right?
Yeah. Check my karaoke page, which is DJ Keel Karaoke on Facebook for all kinds of events. But we do all kinds of stuff on Friday, and then through the summertime, Saturdays are more for weddings and formal type stuff.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Very good. Very good. Mandy, what do you got? Anything? Have you been enjoying something in the world that you need people to know about?
I have a keg.
Okay. So just drink more.
like a real keg? Like a big boy keg?
Well, technically, yes, because we've gone through 4 quarter barrels, so that's actually a whole keg.
That's how she measures time now. Every day's a Saturday, and she measures time based on kegs.
My anxiety level. My anxiety level when I feel like it's possible the keg might run out, like is so much higher during COVID. Like normally it would be like a no big deal.
Curbside? How does that work?
Well, yeah, you just go to the liquor store and hope they have a keg.
Rolls it in for you.
Like other people are doing the same thing we are, because they're not taking cans back. You don't want to hoard all your cans. We don't have a garage. So like this one I feel like is gonna last us a little bit longer, because my husband's gone back to work. I have to be a mom all day, so I can't start drinking like at 2. So happy hour starts, around like 4. Because I know I'm going to be sober enough to not catch a case by the time my husband gets home.
I was saying 4 as a joke, but you were saying 4.
Oh yeah, no, for real. Yes.
Quarantine people.
Well, it is. I don't have to drive anywhere, so like honestly, this is like the best way to podcast for me, because I usually get trashed during the podcast, and now I don't have to drive.
We will likely continue doing it this way even after quarantine.
I think so.
We might upgrade some audio shit just to make it sound better, but yeah, this is it. I think.
Yeah. And so I am enjoying drinking.
Yeah, what you're saying is you're plugging a beer and 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place. That's pretty much it.
Yes.
Recommendations for this episode. All right.
Yeah, and family time. I've spent a lot of time with my daughter. She's pretty great.
Get out there and do stuff. All
what about you, Matt? Is there anything you're loving?
No, not really. Just go to our stuff. I mean, another episode podcast at gmail.com to email us about things we missed or stuff we should be doing or suggestions or anything you've got out there. Follow us on Instagram at Another Episode Podcast to catch the posters that we produce and send out on Sundays prior to that week's episode, to give you a couple of days lead to watch the movie so you can enjoy it along with us. But otherwise, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you've got any recommendations for movies that we haven't done yet that you want to see, send them our way and we'll see what happens. Also, we are still looking for new theme songs. So get your submissions in for something to do with how old are you and other what's that sound and other stuff that we can't use copyrighted music for. So, but otherwise, Kyle, thank you so much for coming back on again.
Yes.
Hey, you're very welcome, guys. It was really good to talk to you, and
so good to see your face.
Absolutely, a little bit of communication goes a long way in today's age.
Oh my God, we timed this almost exact. We got 5 minutes left in the meeting. Look at that.
Nice.
Just enough time for me to show the video viewers a keg stand.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
All right, and of course we never know how to end this nonsense, so we play a little clip to send us out, and that seems to be the easiest thing to do. So today, after we send our thanks to the listeners for listening and to Kyle for joining us one more time, we'll check in with you down the road too. We'll get you back on after the COVID's.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, there you go. I could have someone live with me, and then we could just Zoom you in. Then we don't have a time limit. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening and joining us on the YouTubes. And here is the final clip.
honey, I understand you're upset. Hey, maybe you'd feel better after we have some dirty sex.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your quarantine. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.